Some tales linger in the dark corners of history, whispered from lips that tremble with fear. They speak not of monsters, but of things far more insidious. Silent killers that slip past watchful eyes and latch onto the frailty of human life. I'm the Doctor, and tonight we dive into one such tale, a story that binds ancient whispers to modern reality. Prepare yourself for the unsettling legend of the Whispering Virus. In the bustling city of Wuhan, known for its vibrant markets and scenic rivers, lies an obscure district few ever visit. Hidden within its labyrinth of narrow alleys and forgotten buildings is the Hexie Medical Archives, a repository of medical history dating back to the Qing dynasty. Among its dusty tomes and brittle scrolls, one record had remained untouched for centuries, a case study from 1711 marked simply as the Whispering Plague. This document described a peculiar illness that swept through the Jiangxi province during the reign of Emperor Kangxi. Victims initially complained of mild respiratory discomfort, persistent coughs, fever, and exhaustion, but within days, they began whispering strange phrases in their sleep. These whispers, according to family members, were in a language they did not recognize but sounded eerily melodic. As the illness progressed, patients developed a compulsion to inscribe strange symbols on walls or paper, patterns that historians would later compare to ancient Taoist sigils. Within weeks, the affected villages were abandoned. Survivors spoke of families disappearing overnight, their homes left eerily untouched. Local accounts suggested that the whispers compelled the infected to seek the mountains, where no one dared to follow. Rumors circulated about a sacred wind that carried both the illness and the voices of those who had vanished. Fast forward to December 2024, a peculiar case emerged at a Wuhan hospital, a 3-month-old girl with symptoms of a respiratory infection. Doctors noted her high fever and shallow breathing, but it was her behavior that truly baffled them. The baby, too young to speak, emitted faint rhythmic sounds resembling human whispers. Nurses described an unsettling atmosphere in her room, a feeling of being watched. Within days, similar cases began surfacing. An 8-month-old boy scratched strange patterns onto his bedsheets, patterns resembling oracle bone script, the earliest form of Chinese writing used for divination. Families of the infected reported unexplainable occurrences, distorted voices on baby monitors, lights flickering inexplicably, and shadowy figures glimpsed in their periphery. The whispers seemed to persist even after patients were moved to isolation wards, leading some staff to request transfers. The scale of the outbreak soon grew, sparking panic. Local authorities attempted to enforce quarantines, but the eerie symptoms created chaos among medical staff and residents alike. Security footage from one hospital ward captured a nurse walking aimlessly through the corridors at night, softly muttering to herself in a tone described as otherworldly. Researchers investigating the outbreak discovered a chilling link to the past. One infected family had recently visited the Zhùróng Caves in Hubei province, a site tied to ancient rituals believed to ward off plagues. Archaeologists had previously uncovered jade talismans and inscriptions warning of a curse carried on the wind. The inscriptions described an airborne illness that spoke to its victims, compelling them to perform rituals to appease unseen forces. Samples taken from the infected revealed an unusual virus. Its genetic structure bore similarities to common respiratory viruses but contained unique, unexplained sequences. Virologists speculated that this anomaly could explain the auditory hallucinations experienced by patients. Some skeptics dismissed the whispers as mass hysteria, but others pointed to the eerie consistency of the symptoms. Further analysis of the Zhùróng Caves revealed carvings that depicted individuals covering their ears, while others appeared to chant. These carvings suggested that the illness was as much a psychological phenomenon as it was a physical one, blurring the line between folklore and reality. Adding to the mystery, local elders shared oral traditions about a similar plague that swept through the region centuries ago. They spoke of a forbidden melody that could be heard only by the afflicted, a melody that lured them deeper into the caves, never to return. This song was said to have been silenced by an ancient ritual, but fragments of the melody were believed to linger, waiting for the right conditions to resurface. Unlike other respiratory illnesses, the whispering virus seemed to target its victims selectively. Those infected often reported vivid, unsettling dreams of shadowed figures standing near them, their mouths moving as if to speak. Survivors described a lingering feeling of dread, as if the whispers had imprinted on their minds. Attempts to quarantine the virus proved ineffective. Even with strict protective measures, medical staff reported hearing faint whispers in otherwise silent wards. Audio recordings captured during these periods contained inexplicable sounds that defied analysis. Patients who succumbed to the virus often displayed odd behaviors in their final hours. Some wandered out of their hospital rooms, as if drawn by an unseen force, only to collapse moments later. These incidents were frequently accompanied by unexplained power outages and equipment malfunctions. Researchers also noted an unusual environmental phenomenon. Areas with high infection rates experienced sudden temperature drops and disruptions in electronic devices. Infrared cameras set up in hospital wards captured fleeting silhouettes that seemed to hover near infected patients, further fueling rumors of a supernatural element to the virus. Dr. Lin Wei, a virologist at the Wuhan Institute of Virology, was among the first to suggest the virus had deeper historical roots. Her research pointed to ancient texts describing illnesses that carried the weight of forgotten voices. She believed the virus was not merely a pathogen, but a biological echo of the past, containing genetic remnants of rituals performed centuries ago. In her final message to colleagues, Dr. Lin wrote, "This virus is more than a disease. It's a fragment of history, a shadow of something humanity once feared, but could never understand. It carries whispers of the past, waiting for someone to listen." The next day, Dr. Lin disappeared. Her lab was found in disarray, her notes erased, and her samples destroyed. Officials dismissed her disappearance as unrelated, attributing the outbreak to a mutation of the human metapneumovirus. Yet rumors persisted of her colleagues receiving cryptic emails containing fragments of her lost research. One email contained an audio file that, when analyzed, revealed faint, rhythmic sounds similar to the whispers described by patients. Cryptographers attempted to decode the patterns, but found no logical explanation. The file abruptly disappeared from all devices, leaving only speculation in its wake. In Wuhan, the whispers have not ceased. Residents claim to hear faint voices in the wind, and strange symbols have appeared in unexpected places, on fogged windows, scratched into walls, and even drawn by children too young to write. Visitors to the Zhùróng Caves describe an oppressive silence, broken only by faint rhythmic echoes that seem to emanate from deep within. The whispering virus, though officially contained, continues to haunt those who encountered it. Survivors speak of sleepless nights, plagued by dreams of shadowy figures beckoning them to return to the caves. Scientists who worked on the outbreak have left their posts, citing unshakable feelings of paranoia. Even now, unverified accounts of similar outbreaks are emerging in remote villages across China, sparking fear that the virus is far from eradicated. Stories of villagers disappearing overnight and whispers echoing in abandoned homes persist, blurring the line between myth and reality. For now, the virus has retreated into obscurity. But as history has shown, some stories refuse to stay buried. The whispers are still out there, waiting for their next listener. And so, the whispering virus remains a tale that defies explanation, a chilling reminder that some mysteries are meant to stay buried. But if you hear a voice that doesn't belong, or feel eyes watching when no one's there, remember, it's not just a virus. It's a story, and it's waiting to be told again. Until next time, sleep tight.